Here at Visit with Spirit, we are not out to prove or disprove anything. We are not asking anyone to believe or not believe. We are asking that you, the listener, are compassionate to what our guests have experienced, whether or not you believe, that you respect their journey as we help them on their path of healing.
Welcome to Visit with Spirit. We're here to listen to stories from those who have had a paranormal experience, as well as to help them process, understand, and feel good about it. Hello, souls and spirits. Welcome back to Visit with Spirit. I'm your host, Lisa.
And I'm your host, JD.
And today we're closing out Season 1. This is episode 14 of our very first season. And what a trip it's been.
It has been wild. It has been exciting and wild, and so much has happened.
Yes. One of our episodes, we had talked about what had gotten us into the paranormal and metaphysical and healing. So to go back in regards to the podcast itself, the technical of how it happened, I kind of had this idea going through my head for a few years about trying to do some kind of podcast or show and helping others to deal with their experiences. And it wasn't until I reached out to Jay and the two of us just clicked and this thing came together with such ease and such grace. It's really been, we started this journey just 10 months ago. 10 months ago we were planning this. We had no idea what we were doing, and now we are releasing our final season 1 episode. So it has been such a journey, such a trip. Like, it's just been absolutely overwhelming. The response that we've gotten.
Yes.
The goals that we've set and met and exceeded. It's just been such a great time.
Yes. Here we are, for you guys, you're going to listen to this at the end of our season. We just released episode, I think, 13.
Episode 13.
And we are almost at the 500 listen mark. And I remember when we were celebrating our first 50 listens.
Yes.
It was like 50 listens. And now we're looking at 500 listens. And we have worked with so many amazing guests. And we're already talking and planning for season 2. Like you, going back a while, going even back further than the 10 months. A few years back, I want to say, gosh, maybe 7 years ago, I had attempted at a podcast before I even understood really what they were. And I put out a couple out on SoundCloud and they were okay. Nothing like what we have here, and nothing like what we have built together in this wonderful little space and growing community. And it has just been such a pleasure working with you on this project. And I'm so excited to do some fun episodes this summer together.
Oh, this summer's going to be great.
Yes.
So for the past season, even though our goal really was to interview guests, just the chats that we've had together about some of the things that we've experienced and we wanted to share with others. We've had some amazing businesswomen come in and talk about their metaphysical businesses. And it really just all just came together. And like, I'm still a little bit in awe of how easy it was to be able to get some of these, just to get these guests onto our show. And I know that we had talked about some of our takeaways that we both learned for this season. And that was your takeaway, actually, was how easily it was to attract these guests.
The guests we've had, and I don't know how many of you listening today have gotten a chance to listen to all of the episodes. I have heard that some of you have been binging, which I love that. And some of you have been listening steadily as they come out every week. But if you haven't had a chance to listen to all of our guest episodes, I highly recommend. The guests that we have worked with, I think we went into this thinking, okay, we're going to listen to some potentially traumatic stories and journeys, and we're going to help people heal. And for a lot of people, that did happen for a lot of our guests. What surprised me was how many had instinctively taken it upon themselves to start that healing journey already before they even came to somebody like us, or before they even came to somebody who does this professionally. And I thought, you see so many of these, not just podcasts, but like haunted shows or investigation shows where they go in, and a lot of them have a pretty similar feel. And that was a concern, like how similar is each episode going to be? But I feel like each episode had such a unique energy. Each guest brought something completely different to the table in terms of their journey, their healing, their releasing, and their story, that it was such a privilege and honor to work with these guests.
Going back to the guests that we've attracted, one of my big takeaways this year was that, not only were we sharing our information with others, but they shared so much information to us. And, you really forget that sometimes in the process of learning, you have to unlearn maybe some of the things that you've had, or question some of your beliefs, especially with the paranormal. There's nothing logical. All you have are your beliefs. And so if you have those beliefs shattered and replaced with new ones, that can be almost a little difficult sometimes to try to work with. When we had Heather on from the Haunted Emporium, she had changed my perspective a little bit, because we had talked about haunted locations and whether or not the owners of those locations were exploiting these spirits. And she brought in a perspective that in some of these places, in fact, most of the ones that she had worked with, which I loved hearing, was that the owners of the home were very protective of not only the home, but the spirits in it. And that the spirits were also very protective of the location as well. And so to bring that different perspective of spirit and human coexisting in a peaceful way was something I hadn't considered, because that was definitely something where, you either belong in one place or another. And my gray area has expanded for that belief. So, again, there's different times, different situations, different circumstances, but to be able to hear new perspectives from all of our guests, not just that one instance. We learned so much as well from our guests.
That was a moment that I took away, that perspective struck me as well. And I don't think I ever considered it, because generally when I am asked into the position of cleansing a space, it's because they're not coexisting peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes you have to say to a spirit, you don't have to go home, you don't have to go, but you can't stay here. And something that I always practice, even when I'm called in, even when I'm asked to do, let's say, a cord cleansing, I always ask permission. Do I have your permission to release this energy? And where the energy goes, sometimes they go into the light, not always. And that is their choice. The spirit does always have free will.
Yep.
But, that was a different perspective in terms of haunted spaces that are actually selling tickets or making kind of a living off of it. So I thought, in my mind, it did seem exploitive. But I did appreciate that different perspective on it. And so I agree with you. I thought that was a good learning moment.
Yeah, and like you said, when we had guests who had actually started their healing journey, hearing about the tools that they were using and the ways that they were learning to cope with what they had gone through and started to find their healing journey, really brought some new ideas to us as well.
Yes.
So that was season 1, which was fantastic. But now we have some special stuff coming up for the summer. We're planning out the fall. But you know what? Let's go into the summer season and kind of let everybody know what we got planned for. We have a Facebook party coming up. We have some summer episodes coming up. So if you want to talk about those, Jay, I'm going to let you have it.
I absolutely will. So this summer, July 8th and July 9th, we are doing a 48-hour Facebook celebration/contest. So we're making it 48 hours so that people who live in different time zones, as some of you may or may not know, we actually have had listeners from all over the world. So we recognize and thank those of you who are listening from all sorts of different countries. I think we are officially listened to in 11 different countries now. I haven't checked recently.
Wow.
It may be more. So we decided 48 hours. It is open to any person who joins our Facebook group, which if you look in the description of this episode, you will see a link to the Facebook group. Join, and during that time, there will be posts. Think of any Facebook party you may have been a part of, but it will all be contained within the group rather than an event page. There's going to be posts going through all 48 hours, and you will get a certain number of points. So if you like a comment or if you like a post, if you invite a friend and they tag you, you get a point. All the rules will be posted in group. You will see it. We're also going to make a Twitter post about it. We're going to post it up on Instagram. So you'll be able to find the rules to the contest, but you don't have to take part in the contest if you don't want. Just you joining us is awesome. We are at the end going to have 3 winners. So this is not going to be one of those events where, and for those of you who've done Facebook parties, there's always that one person who's racking up all the points. And you're like, oh man, I'm not going to win anything. So why bother now? No, we're going to have 3 winners, and we are going to be looking at all the points from everywhere. The highest points, though, are going to come from reviewing us on Apple. And you're going to have to take a screenshot and tag us in it. You're going to have to post it somewhere and be like, hey, and tag us to let us know it's you. But really the idea behind this celebration and this contest is to go from having listeners that are just anonymous, that we might get a comment from from people who know us, be like, hey, I love this episode, to actually having an active community on Facebook, people who talk to each other, who support each other, who listen to each other's stories. So we would love for you to become a part of this Facebook group and really share in each other's journeys, not just ours. Because the idea behind our podcast is healing. And some of the best healing you can do is sharing and gathering information, those tips and those tools, which also brings us to another point that starting in, I think, September, possibly even late summer, we're going to be having an active Patreon, which we will talk more about that. And I feel like there's another group that I'm missing. Is there another group or another way they can connect with us that I'm missing?
I don't think so. I think you nailed it. We do have to cover what we're going to do this summer, though.
Yes.
We're going to do our shows on site from locations in New England.
Yes.
They're a surprise to us right now, too, so y'all will be surprised as well.
Yes.
Again, listen for the Patreon because we have a lot of pre-show banter. We have some post banter, and we're going to start including some of that, behind-the-scenes stuff on the Patreon. We'll have some extra goodies for you guys, so definitely keep that in mind. In regards to the Apple Podcast reviews, that's really the only podcast distributor that we've found that you can leave a review. And we actually got one from Annie, who loves the show. And I'm going to read this to you real quick because she wrote such wonderful stuff about our show. How does this show not have so many great ratings? I stumbled upon it on Instagram and immediately felt drawn to it. I have listened to all but the latest episode today on my day off. I can't get enough. Both of the hosts have a very genuine and amazing presence about them. I love that they truly care about the guests and the spirits they work with. That's one thing that always bothers me about some people. Why don't they try to help these souls move on? They deserve it. I can't wait to keep listening and following along. So Annie, thank you so much for that review.
Thank you, Annie.
And we don't know Annie, which is even better. This is fantastic. So again, if you guys have listened to the show and you love it and you found something that really resonates with you, please share it on the Apple Podcast review and you'll get some points for the summer contest.
But also, as we go through into the next season, we're going to start reading these reviews as we find them.
Yes.
If you leave positive comments on different episodes that you've listened to, we will absolutely acknowledge you, because we enjoy that interaction with you and we celebrate it. So we want you guys to celebrate with us.
Absolutely. I think that's all we have for our wrap up. So we've wrapped up season 1. We've talked about our summer contest. We've talked about the Patreon that we have coming up. So folks, definitely please keep listening, keep sharing. We do want to do some special thanks, shout outs to people from this first season.
Yes.
Heather Wheeler from the Haunted Emporium in Whitensville, Mass. Jeannie Sullivan from Heartfelt Energies in Windham, Maine, both amazing businesswomen that came and shared their metaphysical journeys and told us about their metaphysical businesses and shared what they had with us. To Ray Osier and Jeff Belanger of New England Legends podcast. I've actually done some voiceover work for them. They've given us a shout out on their show, so I'm going to give them a shout out on ours. You're going to love New England Legends. Definitely give their podcast a listen. Thanks to Deirdre McCarthy from Face to Face Pro Communications, who really gave us the foundation and framework for our show. We told her about what we wanted to accomplish, and she really helped us out with that. So if you have a podcast, audiobook, any kind of communications coaching that you're in need of, definitely reach out to Deirdre. Thanks to all of our amazing guests that we've had this year. Thank you so much to our family and friends who supported us throughout this whole journey and had to, spell check things for us and look at logos and do all the crazy stuff. And especially all of you, our dedicated listeners who magically make our numbers go up every week that we love to watch.
Yes.
So again, thank you all so much.
Thank you
for an amazing season 1. Jay, do you have anything else?
My gosh, I think you summed it up. I do want to jump on the New England Legends podcast bandwagon. They are incredible. They remind me of this old-fashioned radio show. The sound effects are incredible. The sound in general is just outstanding. Engineering alone, chef's kiss to that.
They actually have an app where you can visit the locations that they talk about the legends. So if you guys want an interactive podcast, yeah, definitely check them out.
Oh, that's cool. I did not know about the app. I am going to have to check that out. Thank you, everybody. This has been such, as I said, a joy and an honor working with you guys. And I cannot wait to see you. We can't wait to see you on Facebook. And during the event, there are going to be some Q&A sessions that you'll be able to interact with us via Zoom. And we're only providing the Zoom link in that Facebook group. So you have got to be a member to join us live.
All right. This is it, souls and spirits. Thank you so much for joining us this episode, this season. And until next time, may love and light surround you and your loved ones. Thank you for joining us today for our visit with Spirit. We hope you enjoyed listening. If you have any questions or comments, or would like to be a guest on our show, email us at visitwithspirit@gmail.com or find us on social media. Until next time, may love and light surround you. And come back again to Visit with Spirit.